Hey Tremaine, Heather here. Good to see you. Happy week one.
I appreciate it.
We just talked to Micah, and he said how he was very honest and even admitted how the past couple years when this defense has really carried the load for you guys to win games. He admitted, he's like, yeah, I wouldn't have admitted it back then, but it was a little frustrating. But now this offense has so many weapons, and he doesn't think that that's going to be the case. I guess can from your perspective, kind of elaborate on maybe some of your thoughts on that and the expectations for the offense, how nice it will be if everything pans out that you guys shouldn't have to carry the load like you have the past couple of years.
Yeah, so Micah's been here a little bit longer than me, so
Right.
I'm not. I don't want to really jump into that topic because he may know a little bit more than I do. But I'm excited about what the whole team can do, and in particular talking about the offense, they've showed a lot of things to us during camp that we just have to take our hat off to. You have to commend those things that they've been doing. They've been going to work. We've been just competing, as an offense and defense. I think that we've made each other better. And I think that's what you look for in the team, just both sides of the ball, and including special teams, just everybody competing out there and just getting the best out of each side of the ball. And, I think that's, some of the things Mike is talking about, just seeing how they competed against us, how we competed against them, and just seeing that, it's a very competitive environment. And that's what you want definitely in this sport.
We talked to Brandon Bean earlier in the week, and he said how he doesn't think that he's going to feel like this organization's on track until you guys win the AFC East. Is that mindset kind of a trickle down effect where it starts at the top and it does kind of fall in line to everybody else, that mindset of we want to go out and win the division?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that's where it starts with. You have to win the division to, move on to that next step. And that's you don't want to look. Obviously, you want to look at the big picture, but you got to take it a step at a time. And that's our first step. We got to get to that point. We got to win the division, and then obviously, we still got to take one game at a time. It starts with this first game that we're about to play now, and that's against the Jets. And we can't look further than that. No other game that's on the schedule besides the team we're playing on Sunday. And I think that's the approach we need to have throughout the year. Just take it a week at a time because each game is a 1 week. I call it a 1 game season. It all depends on that one game that you play in that week. So, we got to treat it like that, and everything else will take care of itself.
Thanks, Tremaine.
Yeah.
Hey, Tremaine, Matt Perino here. Obviously, you came into the league same year as Sam Darnold. You've had a couple looks at him early on here in the first 2 years. Jets aren't getting a lot of love this year, Sam as well. What do you guys see when you scout them and prepare for them, and what can they do? What do they do well where you have some concerns?
I think the biggest thing is we just got to, as a team, focus on ourselves. And I think that's what the biggest part is. In this league, you put, emphasis on the other team, but at the same time, I think majority of it comes down to what you do, how well you execute as a team, how well you use your fundamentals. And I think that's the thing that we've been keying down on, just making sure that, we're playing our best football and that we make sure that we know our assignment and guys are playing as one and that we're playing as a team. And I think that's the biggest thing right now with, our preparation. Obviously, it comes down to, how we see them as a team. But biggest thing as far as us is we got to make sure that we're playing our part well and everybody's doing their job.
Your linebacker room is officially set as of last Saturday. Delshon Phillips, a little bit of a surprise. What can you tell us about him, and how happy were you for him to make the roster after what he did in training camp?
Very happy for him. A guy that just came in and worked. He can every day continue to get better, continue to ask questions, continue to put, emphasis on certain things that he wanted to get better with at practice. And we had a great group of guys, even the guys that didn't make the 53 or the practice squad. We had a great group of guys since day one, man. Guys that were all bought in, and guys that just wanted to work, guys that wanted to be better. And I think that just takes our hat off to the type of guys that they bring into the program. Guys that buy into what you're doing and guys that just want to be the best. And I think that we challenge each other in our room. Whether it's me, Matt, AJ, some of the older guys, but it's just we have that bond in our room, man, and we're gonna bring out the best in each one of us.
Thanks, Tremaine.
Hey, Tremaine, Jay with the Buffalo News. I was going to kind of ask you about Delshon as well. All of us in the media, quite frankly, were a little bit surprised. I don't know that any of us had him making the 53-man roster. Was his ability, was there a moment where he kind of took you by surprise, where you're like, wow, this guy can really play, or anything like that, where it kind of jumped off and became apparent to the guys in that linebacker room that, that he's got some game?
Nah, I mean, like I said, all the guys in there, everybody could move well, everybody played physical. I mean, everybody had their own unique style of play. But, I mean, him in particular, he's a nice, long guy, has a good speed, good instincts. And, I think that took over during this camp. And you could see him flashing, making some plays and, just running around and, doing the little things. And I think that's what stood out.
Yeah, your role now as a team captain, you're going to be expected to bring guys like that along now, and it's not enough for you to just play, but you got to be that leader and help out in the meeting room. How have you, and obviously being voted team captain, that comes with it, how have you embraced that role and tried to help young guys like that?
I mean, I think with me, the biggest thing is just being myself. I mean, I think guys gravitate to guys that, do things the right way. And I try to, that's what I try to embody. That's what I try to, make guys see, just me. I try to make sure I do my job right. Make sure any questions somebody have, I'm available for them. Little stuff like that, even on the practice field, man, just making sure I'm going to work, making sure I'm on top of my assignment. So, guys see, guys can look up to somebody. And, I mean, like I said, we have a great group of guys that we push each other. Like those guys push me to be the best. And, I try to push them to be the best. And that's what you want, man, not just coming from me, but coming from the whole group. And that's a good thing when you have multiple guys that's doing things the right way. And that's what we want. That's what we want to be as a group. That's what we want to be as a team.
Thank you.
Hey, Tremaine, Matt Fairburn here. Curious what you've seen out of Le'Veon Bell when you've gone up against him, what type of challenge he presents as a guy that can do a little bit of everything in their backfield.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. Just a guy that you got to kind of expect everything from him. A guy that obviously does a good job running the football. Has his own unique style of running the ball, and obviously a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. And, can be split out sometimes at receiver, but you just got to be on high alerts, man. And throughout the week, pick up little things during film, and just prepare for it like that way. For
you as a middle linebacker, what's the impact of losing a guy like Starr and having to get used to, Vernon and Harrison being those guys? Obviously you're reading things off those guys sometimes. What's the transition like, getting used to that? What's the impact on you as a linebacker?
Yeah, I think everything takes a little bit of getting used to, in this league. Obviously, any given week you could be playing with somebody new. I mean, that's just the reality of our business. So, the part of being a pro, you just have to get with those guys, man, develop trust in one another. And I think that's what we did during training camp. That's what training camp is for, to develop that trust, to let each other know that I got your back, and honestly just play off one another. Communicate with each other. I think that's the biggest thing when you're playing with someone new. Communication is critical. So as long as we communicate and as long as we got that trust in one another, you just have to get used to it and just go to work.
What might the average person watching at home not realize about that communication between the defensive line and linebackers, and just the role that it plays in you guys stopping the run?
I think the best way to probably answer that is, communication is everything. I think going to the average person that you said, you may not think it's as much communication in football as, somebody that's playing knows it is. But, at the end of the day, you have to communicate to make plays. You have to communicate to get your assignment. You have to communicate to play as one. And, that's what football is, honestly. It's communication, and it's making sure that everybody's playing the same thing out there.